viewers, welcome to this episode. In this episode, we want to talk about suicide. For example, we want to look at what are the warning signs of suicide, what are the risk factors or the causes of suicide, and how can we prevent suicide. Subscribe to this channel, comment, like, and share. So, suicide is the act of taking one's life or is the act of killing oneself. A suicidal behavior involves suicidal ideation, which is the frequent thought of killing oneself. Suicidal behavior also involves or includes suicidal attempt, which is the act of trying to kill oneself. And it also involves completed suicide, which is when a person actually kills himself or herself. So the next thing that we want to look at is what are some of the warning signs that someone may wish to commit suicide. Even though it's difficult to tell when someone wishes to commit suicide, some changes in their behavior can make us know if someone is planning to attempt suicide or not. One of the changes in behavior that can suggest to us that someone is planning to attempt suicide is, for example, when they keep talking about feeling hopeless or feeling alone in life. Again, if they keep telling you that they see no reason to continue living in this life, this may also be a reason or give us a suggestion that they want to commit suicide. Also, suddenly a person decides to give away their possessions, or suddenly they want to make a will, can also suggest that a person is planning to attempt suicide. Another thing that we can look out for is that there can be a change in their sleep habit. For example, they sleep too little or too much than we used to know of them previously, then this can also be a suggestion that they want to commit suicide. So other behaviors that could suggest to us that a person is planning to commit suicide include avoiding social interaction with others, such as friends and family, talking about suicide, excessive intake of alcohol and smoking, engaging in risky behavior such as driving carelessly, talking about being a burden to others, and also frequently saying goodbye to others as if it were the last time could also suggest that a person is planning to commit suicide. So, what causes suicide or what increases the risk of committing suicide? Certain health conditions have been shown to increase the risk of committing suicide. This includes depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, and bipolar disorder. Other health conditions that have been shown to increase the risk of committing suicide includes cancer, HIV/AIDS, high blood pressure, and diabetes. Other factors that have been shown to increase the risk of committing suicide includes previous suicide attempts, loss of a job, child abuse, and sexual abuse. Financial problems, unemployment, academic failure, and the end of romantic relationships can also increase the risk of committing suicide. So, how can we prevent suicide or the occurrence of suicide? In order to prevent suicide, it is important that friends and family around people who are likely to commit suicide play a role, as well as those who are likely to commit suicide playing another role. So, for those family and friends around people who are likely to commit suicide, it is important that we pay attention to warning signs. For example, are they saying goodbye as if it were their last time? Are they suddenly sharing all their properties? Are they talking about suicide? These are warning signs that we need to pay attention to so that we can advise them appropriately to seek help from a health professional, for example, like a psychologist. Another thing that we can do is to make sure that we get rid of guns and knives or any harmful substances that they may use to commit suicide. So, for those who are having feelings or thoughts of committing suicide, it is important that we talk to friends and family or talk to a health professional, for example, like a psychologist, about our feelings or about our thoughts of committing suicide. It is also important that if we're able to see a health professional, that we take medications as directed. Again, we have to make sure that we never miss an appointment with our health professional. Another thing we can do in order to prevent suicide is to make sure that we avoid the excessive intake of alcohol. Excessive intake of alcohol has been shown to contribute to the development of depression and anxiety. Therefore, avoiding excessive intake of alcohol can help us to reduce mental health problems as well as other physical health problems, and therefore help us to prevent the occurrence of suicide. Again, if we want to be able to prevent suicide, then it is important that we stay connected with friends and family. Usually, when people want to commit suicide, they tend to want to be alone. So, staying connected with friends and family will prevent loneliness and therefore help us to prevent the occurrence of suicide. One thing which research has shown can help us to prevent the occurrence of suicide is to engage in regular exercise. The benefits of exercise for mental health and also for physical health has been widely reported in the research literature. So it is important that when we start having thoughts about suicide, when we start having feelings about committing suicide, that we engage in regular exercise to improve our mood and also to improve our physical health. And this will go a long way to prevent us from committing suicide. Again, eating a well-balanced diet can go a long way to improve our overall health and therefore help in our efforts to prevent the occurrence of suicide. One thing we cannot ignore in our efforts to prevent the occurrence of suicide is sleep. We need to have adequate amounts of sleep between 7 to 8 hours at night. The benefits of sleep for mental health and physical health has also been widely reported. For example, inadequate sleep is known to be a contributing factor in terms of developing depression. Therefore, sleeping adequately or having sufficient amounts of sleep can help us to reduce the occurrence of suicide by preventing depression. One of the things that we can do in order to be able to prevent the occurrence of suicide is to engage in pleasurable activities, engaging in things that we enjoy, things that make us happy. For example, watching a football match, for example, going to church, and also listening to music. Because depression is one of the commonest factors or risk factors for suicide, engaging in activities that make you happy will go a long way to help in the prevention of suicide. So, suicide is the art of killing oneself. Some of the warning signs of suicide that we need to look out for includes talking about suicide, giving away your possessions suddenly, and also trying to isolate yourself from friends and family. Again, the risk factors or the causes of suicide include depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, and having a diagnosis of HIV/AIDS. Some of the things that we can do to prevent suicide includes exercising regularly, sleeping sufficiently, making sure that you connect with friends, and also eating a well-balanced diet. Subscribe to this channel, comment, like, and share.